first of all, because I was able to be at Muscogee Nation personally last spring, and there's so much going on there. So, and also Chris came in clutch. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Christopher Azbell, sorry, he serves as the extension coordinator for the College of Muscogee Nation, and he is a proud member of the Muscogee Nation and dedicated civil servant. Chris has almost two decades of tribal service experiences with stints in the District Court, Cultural Center, and Archives Department, as well as the Department of Interior, and he holds a Bachelor in Science of Environmental Science from Oklahoma State University, with a Master's in Political Science focused on public administration and public policy. He spent 5 years with H.F. Sinclair, where he advanced from crew unit operator to senior HR business partner. Chris has a deep understanding of tribal governance, environmental policy, and workforce development, making him well positioned to continue to lead the CMN extension program. And as I was talking to my boss, which is John Phillips, he said if we could all have a Chris, we would be in great shape at our tribal college extensions, because he is so responsive and so proactive. So we are very lucky to have him with us today. So Chris, thank you so much for showing up. And if you want to give any more of an introduction that I may have missed, please feel free, and then we can start your presentation.
Okay. Hey, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to present today. And no worries. I think I've had so many people come in clutch from me so many times. So anytime you guys need anything from me, we'll be here for you. So I'm always happy to share what we have going on at the College of Muscogee Nation, and also to learn from others in terms of what they have going on. So I would encourage anybody, if you're listening, to raise your hand at any point during my presentation. If you have a question, if something applies to your area, stop me and we can go over it, because I want this to be educational and informational, but educational as well. So, hey, maybe you can take something at home away from my presentation. And what I'm going to do is going to give you a little history, kind of where we started and kind of where we're at now, and then I'm going to switch over and share my screen with our website, and I think kind of tells a story of kind of how far we've come, and it kind of is reflective of all the things that we have going on now. So our extension program started in November of 2023. I think they got the grant. They had the grant for about a year. It's a NIFA capacity grant, and they didn't hire somebody. And I had recently left the refinery. Corporate America burned me out. And actually, it took like 6 months off. But I had worked for the tribe for many years before that. I was Secretary of Interior, get into all the good politics of the tribe, and I was like, I just wanted to take a break from all that, and so I went and worked in corporate America for 6 years, and I learned a lot, particularly about taking a structured approach when you're doing things, and then also the importance of identifying good talent and retaining that talent, and building a team. And so my time in corporate America really came in handy in my experience working for the tribe and everybody I know in terms of building our program out. And so we'll kind of walk you through that a little bit. So November 2023, walked in. And hey, what's my time frame? I want to make sure I don't go over or under on this.
Yeah, so we have all the way till noon, and then if we have questions or whatever, so as much as you want to share,
Okay.
We'll have some people that'll have to get off to go to another call, but we'll take questions as long as they're coming in at the end too.
So we started in November 2023, and walked in and did not even have a desk. Literally had no desk. I think they had a little table and a chair had pushed in my office, and I thought, oh man, I almost feel like I'm back straight out of college again. When I got my first job, and even though I was 40-something years old and I had a lot of experience, but I was really starting back at the beginning, and which was fine. At the tribe, I spent 15 years before it, and then when you come back, they treat you like a new employee, because you get the bare minimum of hours and bare minimum of everything. So it's like, that's totally fine. I'm going to build this thing like the way we want it. So what we did was, they had hired another lady previous to me when she was good, and she ended up leaving, and then they gave me an opportunity to bring in my own person. And so we put it out there, and I did use kind of my HR skills, and we hired a girl named Courtney Natsaway, and I immediately recognized how passionate she was about the job. She used to work here, or excuse me, she went to school here. She went to Oklahoma State. She has a horticulture degree, and she kept saying in our phone screen that she wanted to come back and work for the College of Muscogee Nation and give something back. She never mentioned anything about money. And I thought, man, that is impressive because money is important to everybody. But it was the fact that she was passionate about this job and wanted to work for this college. And she's a citizen of the Muscogee Nation. So we hired her. Luckily, that kind of built out my team. And what we did is we hired a uh, a, a president who was just retiring from Oklahoma State University Institute of Technology, and he basically said, I put him on contract. We had some contract labor, and I brought him in. I said, "Hey, I want you to help us do a strategic plan," and he did that. And so that's where we started. Was the first thing was in this structured approach was putting together a strategic plan. I'm going to pull up our website because we actually have our strategic plan on there. You think, oh, that's going to be really boring, but it's only basically 5 bullet points. But it took an enormous amount of time to get to those things, and I'll pull that up and I'll share it with you. Let me see here if I can share my screen. Let's see that. Okay. Can you guys see that okay?
Yep, it looks great.
Okay, so this is our website, and I'll kind of go over some of the things on our website, but first and foremost, under about, if it will go, there it goes. So I wanted to make sure that we put our strategic plan out there, and what we did is we brought in Dr. Bill Path. He helped me go through the strategic planning process. Well, we did a comprehensive evaluation of what the Muscogee Nation was already offering. They have a Muscogee Nation Department of Ag. They had they had a Conservation Commission. They had a new USDA liaison that was coming on board. They had a Loop Square meat processing facility. They had a ton of stuff. They had a natural resources program kind of through the Bureau a little bit. It kind of had been modified a little bit. They had a 4-H style youth development program. All these things were already ongoing. So what we didn't want to do from a College of Muscogee Nation Extension Program standpoint was we didn't want to come in and start competing with everybody. That's you get a lot of ill will by doing that. So we wanted to do is we interviewed every one of them as part of our strategic planning process. Hey, what are you doing? How can we fill the gaps? How can we support what you already have going? We do not want to compete with any of your clients. We don't want to compete for clients at all. We want to support the nation, get everybody pulling on that rope and pulling the same direction so that we can make big things happen. And so if you look down through here, and I won't go over every one of these, but just some of the high points that came out of our strategic planning was one, develop ag focused training modules for the overall benefit and enrichment of the Muscogee people. And the reason I want to read these objectives because when you look at our website and I talk about our programmatic development, you're going to see a direct connection to these established objectives that we created through our strategic planning process. That's how we rolled out our extension programming. That's how we developed our entire extension program was based on the strategic plan. And in conjunction, I think Aaron Riley's on there, and in conjunction with our grant, right? What the grant requirements were, but also we went above and beyond kind of what the grant was requiring because we wanted to build an extension program that was going to last. Number two, and you guys can and ladies can look at this later in terms of the details. But number two, preserve tribal culture and traditional knowledge through the delivery of courses and services designed to put culture back into agriculture. Number three, establish an eco park to promote agritourism based on the ideals, core values, and traditional ecological knowledge of the Muscogee Nation and its people. And each one of these has some little bullets under there. Objective 4, enhance the economic vitality and resilience of charter communities within the Muscogee Nation. Objective 5, increase the yield capacity of native businesses and provide supportive services for small businesses throughout the Muscogee Nation. This is a lot around agribusiness. Number 6, nurture local young people into becoming productive tribal citizens through proactive activities and youth development programming. And the objective 7, provide learning experiences that promote voluntary adoption of healthy eating choices, as well as other nutrition-related behaviors conducive to health and well-being. So that's our strategic planning process, and seems pretty short and simple, but it was probably about a 2-month process for us to get the interviews. We did about an hour or sometimes an hour and a half interviews with each person. We had those transcribed, and then we evaluated them, and then we had basically a retreat, strategic planning retreat, and then we pulled all this out during the retreat. And then once we did that, we finalized it, and this went to our board of regents for approval. So the entire organization is bought into the strategic planning approach, which is key, because anything that I do, if I apply for a grant, if I whatever I do out there, I don't have to have a big back and forth and say, hey, this aligns directly with objective 1 already. So I'm not gonna go out and just get a bunch of random grants. It's got to be in line with our objectives. And so I worked for the tribe many years before that, and I always felt like a little bit like the tail was wagging the dog in terms of some of the grants that we went after. We would go down different rabbit holes, and it's like, what are we really trying to do with that grant? It's a nice grant, but does it fit for us? And so whatever grant that we go after, we want to make sure that it aligns with our strategic plan, and that we were making progress in terms of this 5-year strategic plan. I do want to make a note that it is a 5-year rolling strategic plan. If you are involved with strategic planning, know that sometimes you do a strategic plan, it can go on the shelf, and you don't look at it for 5 years, and you come back and you're just like, oh, we need to update our strategic plan. Ours is designed where it's going to be updated every single year, and so things will drop off and things will add, and so it's called a 5-year rolling strategic plan. Excuse me. So I just want to go back on our website so you can kind of see these different things, all on these different objectives, and you can kind of see how they line up with some of the things that we're working on now. So in conjunction with the strategic planning process, I just want to put it out there. So I did know a lot of the players at the Muscogee Nation very well. Worked there for many, many years. My wife actually worked for the College of Muscogee Nation as the admissions director. I've lived in Okmulgee, and I used to be on the city council. So I just knew a lot of people, and felt comfortable with the people coming back, and always had a good relationship with everyone. So immediately went out and started networking again. And what I realized real quickly was that the College of Muscogee Nation was underutilized in the community, and our extension program was going to be key, getting out what CMN can bring to the community and do in terms of community development, community education, and realizing that this is a real diamond in the rough of the Muscogee Nation, because it was really underutilized. We have a great educational component, but the research and extension part was not developed. So I got a grant through what was it? It's called NEROC. Is anybody familiar with NEROC? It's a national extension conference. It was in Delaware. I think it was in Arizona. Oh no, it was in Reno this year. And anyways, I got a grant to go to that, and one of the things that came out of that grant was I bought a event manager. So this is our event manager, but it's also community relations manager, event manager, and it manages all of your planning. So you can take all your programming, anything that you want to develop out to meet your strategic planning goals, you can roll it into this program. Now it's actually, let me bring up the other side of it real quick. It's called pairs. So this is the back end, and this it manages our community relationships, our planning, surveys, action plans, professional development. So you can really see that this thing can evolve into something great, bigger, much bigger. We only have 2 employees right now, but later on we have a structure in place to manage a much larger organization. Now, pears is out of Kansas State University, and it's very similar to some of the programs I think Oklahoma State does peers or something like that. It's something very similar. I saw somebody with was it Washington State University? Mike, do you guys use a program kind of like that?
Nope, not that I'm aware of.
OSU does, and I kind of got the idea from OSU, and then this one was really cheap. It only cost us about 3,500 a year. But what it allows is our citizens can go out and I basically promote this our website, and they can go out and sign up for these free workshops at any given time. So right now we're about to do a prescribed burn workshop. We're looking for land. We have an introduction beekeeping coming up on June 7th. If you look behind the scenes at some of our things that we've done in the past, you can see that we've done a Muscogee Gardener program, which is ending this week. We did Chittahogga and Ghost Spread workshop, tools for your business, ag risk management workshop was last week. Lots of things that are going, but this takes all the work out of it. It really does all the registration. It manages the emails, everything. It can do payments if you do that. And so that was one of the key things that we did was is getting pairs and allowing that to work for us. The other thing I had mentioned earlier, we definitely did not want to reinvent the wheel. So all of our programming, as you saw, was kind of things that's kind of gapped. And we knew that the nation was already involved with a lot of like more traditional ag. So we knew that there was an opportunity for us to do a lot of sustainable ag. And so if you look at our pictures here, we do have a full operational garden that we manage, a greenhouse. We use this as an educational garden. Courtney Natchway manages that. We do a heirloom seed program that we just started, and we're having people grow out seeds on our behalf. And then we also knew that we needed to diversify our grants. So we went out and partnered with OSU on a beginning farmers and ranchers grant. We also have a grant through USGS to do some traditional ecological knowledge through the language. And lastly, or not lastly, but another thing I wanted to point out was that I knew that I didn't have all the traditional ecological knowledge. So I knew a guy, his name was Ben Yehola. He's in his 70s. He speaks the language. He's a hard worker, and he also was very passionate about growing and teaching and all the things that we were passionate about. And so bringing him on in conjunction with Courtney was the key. We still have an unbelievable team, and I wouldn't be able to evolve like the way we did without Ben Yehola. So if you look at our website, just quickly, we created this website. It's a subdomain of cmn.edu. It's extension.cmn.edu. Took a little convincing on for them to make that happen. We did make that happen. I talked about events. If you click on news, we do a program in the newspaper called Chewing the Cud with CMN Extension. And that's our Chewing the Cud right there. There's some of the articles that we've written over the last year. I need to go in there and add a few more. The websites can get a little dated real quick because we just went live with this back in March. We also want to put it out there. We also do a Chewing the Cud with CMN Extension radio program on AM 1240 The Brew, which is an AM local station. They have an affiliated FM. But you can also find it on as a podcast on Apple Music, on Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And so that has been very popular. We do that on Fridays. It takes about an hour. It takes a little bit of time to get ready for it. Been very, very popular. We also do a farmer's market that I started. That's going to be coming back on April 26th. It's coming up. And then Courtney does a program called Muscogee Gardening Series. So if you're familiar with a gardening program like Oklahoma Gardening through Oklahoma State University, we do something very similar. So we go out and visit people's farms or ranches or even gardens, whatever they have going on. and we're highlighting our citizens about the things that that they have going on. So a couple weeks ago, we went to Southeast Oklahoma and harvested Yopon, which if you guys are anybody familiar with Yopon, just raise your hand. I can only see one person. You guys never heard of Yopon? So Yopon is the original caffeinated drink in North America. Yopon Holly. Ilex vomitoria is the Latin or the genus species name, scientific name, and it's grown in the southeast. But we went and harvested it in southeast Oklahoma and took our students down there, and we boiled it and we made a whole show. And basically, it's just it's kind of like green tea, or you can roast it and make a caffeinated drink. It's really good. It's kind of earthy. Everything that you haven't had before is kind of got a weird taste. It's kind of earthy, right? So that's one of those deals. But so that's going to be our first show this year under our Muscogee gardening series. It's kind of like Oklahoma gardening. And then I just want to highlight a few other things that under our fact sheets. We're in the process of doing fact sheets. Our first fact sheet is going to be Yopon Holly, Yishilabuski. It's like little tree. And then Hijay, Muscogee Hijay is the tobacco is going to be our second one. So we're going to do traditional fact sheets, kind of like Oklahoma State. But we want to make sure that, again, we're not reinventing the wheel, doing a lot of stuff just to be doing it. And so our fact sheets are going to be around traditional ecological knowledge, what we're willing to share, and we want to set the facts straight and put that out there. And then we want to become this clearinghouse for information for the tribe. And I do want to give a shout out to we do have wrote a grant, and Miko and them had written the grant. I kind of just facilitated the final parts of it, but we do have another 4-H person under FERTEP. It was actually funded, I think, through the Keep Seagull settlement. It's the position is actually under Oklahoma State, and they're housed out here at the College of Muscogee Nation. And we work hand in hand with her in Oklahoma State, and they work with our citizens directly. And she's in the process of developing a 4-H program for the College of Muscogee Nation Extension. And so she'll be taking the lead on that from a 4-H standpoint. And then working with the nation's youth development program, Ag Youth Development Program, to start getting more 4-H folks involved with that and drive 4-H within the Muscogee Nation. So, and I don't want to see. I think I have one more point. I just have two more points. Communication is the key. I don't think you cannot over communicate. If people aren't getting it, if they're not understanding, or you need to communicate in a different way. And I realized real quickly that with our clients, they get their information in a myriad of different ways. I had people from Alabama. I had a guy write me from prison in Alabama on our program. Had a friend in Alabama call me and said she read my newspaper article, and she didn't know I was back with the tribe. And so that shows you right there, you're touching people. When we did the radio program, I went into the city hall, and the ladies yelled out "chewing the cud" from behind her desk. I didn't realize that a lot of people were listening to the program already. And so, we want to communicate. We use social media, but we want to use a lot of the traditional ways that people in the local area have gotten their information. And then lastly, extension is all about people. It's about their needs. And we did a little video, and we haven't played it in a while, but we were first going around and we're telling people about our extension program. We played it and said, this is my extension. We had all these different people say that. And it's true. This is the extension for the Muscogee people. It's what their needs are, whether it's nutrition, whether it's traditional ecological knowledge, whether it's growing, whatever it is. This was an opportunity for us to build this thing out to really impact our citizens in a positive way without getting bogged down in a lot of administrative bureaucratic red tape. So I think it's been effective. Our Muscogee Gardener program is super, super popular. We had over 40 people in that program. And so it's just an example of the success we've had. And we wouldn't be able to do it without good people. So, but that's kind of I feel like I've talked a lot, but I don't know if you guys have any questions, but that's kind of the overview of our program.
That was amazing. Tracy Morgan says, Christopher, you have a model program, so inspiring. Do you have that video that you could pop up?
Yeah, so like you talking about for the Muscogee Gardening Series?
No, my extension.
Oh, I don't know. I played it when we were doing our strategic planning to get people excited about the extension. I had to find it. I don't have it up there.
That's such a good idea because it gives so much ownership.
But this is if you click here on the Muscogee Gardening Series, and see if I can. We did 9 of those last year. They're really good. A lot, and we use a lot of the language in the programming, and we'll be doing those this year as well. And we actually had Oklahoma Gardening come down and highlight our garden, and so they did a whole show. It was on OETA on Saturday morning, and they got a lot of support too. So.
And then Aaron mentioned the poem. It was just on your homepage, I think. Who wrote that poem? That one. I wish I was me. Oh, Courtney did. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you were at our conference, and John Phillips gave us that scholarship to have that Grow Empire conference, the climate change conference, and she read that, and I thought, man, that really touched me, and so I was like, I asked her if it was okay if I put it on the website, and she said it was okay. I just want to give her credit, but yeah, she wrote that, and we also started an environmental science club. I don't want to leave them out. They're not on our website yet, but they're going to be. We started an environmental science club, and that has been critical to our success too, because we got to have labor. I started the Muscogee Gardening Program because I'm trying to get volunteers. Started the environmental science clubs. I needed volunteers, and then we also partnered with Muscogee Nation Employment Training to get some folks over here during the summertime, and as part of the elderly program, get volunteers because you can't do all the stuff without labor. You only have a couple people. You just got to have labor. And when people see the vision, they're more than happy to jump in and help out. And we have a lady that came in this morning was processing all of our tobacco seeds, and she just shows up randomly and works. And we have people like that coming in all the time now, and because they see the vision and they want to be a part of it and they want to make a difference. And it's like it just touches my heart when that happens because uh, they feel like they're on that rope pulling with us, and they are. Uh, they really are.
Yeah, that's amazing. You can really see the ownership when they just drop by because they know that they'll be welcome no matter what.
Yeah, and I don't care what we have going on. If someone shows up, I'll stop. Hey, I'm getting them going because
Yeah.
they came up. They took the time out. I mean, they don't even call me or they just show up. So I just got a little area where they can go in there and work, and we'll just get them going on something.
I love that. Do we have any other questions for Chris? I think everyone's just pretty much so impressed. Tracy Morgan says maybe with the terraforms we might all have to start drinking Yopon.
Hey, exactly. Well, and I just want to tell you a little quick story. So Yopon and Vomitoria, and what's the name from the horticulture guy from AHEC? Kai? Is it Kai?
I think it is, yeah. Oh, are you talking about Kaya?
Yeah, Kaya.
Yeah.
Kaya is the one who originally told me the story at our conference. So then Ben had a big knowledge about it, but they named it that because they didn't want it competing with the British tea, and so they gave it this Ilex vomitoria, even though it was used ceremonially, but they added a lot of stuff too, and they were actually purposely trying to purge themselves. And so they gave it that name that it was such a popular drink, and that they didn't want it competing with that British tea. It was a commoner tea, and so the British tea was royal tea, typical thing. Yeah. And so that Ilex vomitoria still has that name to this day.
And it's Yopon?
Yopon holly.
Yeah, okay, very cool. Did you see Monty's comment in there that they have a bunch of that in Southeast Texas too?
Yeah, Southeast Texas, that there's starting to be a market for it, agribusiness, and so that's what we're trying to get some people up here get people drinking it, and then say, hey, how can we develop an agribusiness around this? And I think there's a lot of different opportunities out there to develop some agribusiness. Like one of the things that we make here is, and a lot of tribes do this. We use a lot of lye in our food. So they use lye with corn. Make hominy. They'll make softy with it. They'll mix it in with chitahaga. But to make lye, you got to have blackjack ash. And so I think there's an agribusiness around making blackjack ash. Literally, you could jar it up and sell it as blackjack ash, and so that people can make. Because a lot of people don't want to go out there and do the work. It's like anything, right? You can make stuff from scratch, or you can buy something in the box. You can, hey, traditional Muscogee lye ingredients, and you basically have everything there for them to make their lye. So that's some of the stuff we're kind of working on to kind of diversify what we do from an agribusiness standpoint.
Monty, did you have a comment?
I was going to tell him if he wants to come get some Yopine holly, I got plenty for you on our place.
Hey, I'll let my coworker know. He'll probably be down there and
Yeah, if it needs a different flavoring like honey, it might be a little bit different.
yeah, exactly.
Being from a little different part of the world.
But
Monty,
you see it all around because it grows. They made dwarf holly, which is basically grows ornamental. It's same version, but it's just the dwarf version.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
The red berry version and
Yeah, one's the female, one's the male, and then
right.
there's the dwarf version.
Yep.
But the Chinese holly is the one that's got the real shiny, pokey, more you see more like around Christmas.
Right.
That
Right.
I don't. That one is not. I don't think that's usable for that.
Yep.
Is it virulent? Like, is it considered? It's not considered a weed, is it? Like Monty for you guys?
It would probably be, I'm guessing, an invasive brush species.
It
It's a
is,
brush
yeah.
species.
Okay.
Very, so it grows like underneath the oak trees. So it kind of finds a kind of an area that's kind of shady with some sunlight too, and does real well in the post oak savanna. That's what we live in, is the post oak savanna. Likes the sandier type soil, uh, and very prolific in our part of the world. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, let's go to Will Stevens. Will, you're on mute. Will?
But just to talk about what Monty said, so now if you can create a market for, like you say, Yopon holly. Now there's a tea out of South America that's is it Imemahe something or Edamahe, something like that. Anyways, it's found. It's a tea from South America that's found in traditional grocery stores now. It's very, very similar to that. But if you can find a market for it, then this invasive species can be more managed, particularly in Texas. It grows naturally in the southeast, and you see big rings around Oklahoma City and Tulsa with it because that's where they put a lot of ornamentals in all these housing divisions and whatnot. But I think if you can find the economics of it, if people can utilize it, then it would be managed in a better way.
Exactly right.
Is there nutritional information? Tracy was asking, but then she also posted some stuff, but maybe give just a quick overview of the nutritional side of it.
Yeah, I actually have I can share you guys there's a individual from Georgia that runs the Yopon shop, and he put together a really comprehensive PowerPoint on this. But he talks about there's the antioxidant properties of it. Obviously, a small amount is really your caffeine fix. It's much better for you than coffee. It doesn't have the acidity as coffee. And I'd have to look up some of the other medicinal properties, but I know the antioxidant was one. I don't know if it has any nutritional components to it. Ben Yehola, our resident traditionalist, like swears by it. He drinks it every single day. And
are you guys selling this yet, or?
We don't sell it. He sold like some stuff for a while. There's a guy named Thurman. Uh, Lou Thurman from Georgia that sells it. And I could share you guys his PowerPoint and drop it in there. He really goes into a lot of the deep details of it. But
Well, just even
there is a
content.
market
I
for it.
really want to try it now. I mean, if you could get a little hit of caffeine without, I mean, that would be nice.
Yes, Amani, have you tasted it? I don't know if he's tasted it or not.
No, I have not. Now, is it? I guess he dries the leaves, I guess, or is it the
Yeah,
Yeah,
berries?
So I'll send you guys a video of a guy from the southeast. He's like as a wildlife guy, and I'll just drop it in the chat if I can find it real quick. He, you can set it and just let it dry naturally, or you can put it in the oven and roast it, and
yeah.
use use a broiler and just kind of keep mixing it, mixing it, and you set it in the water, kind of boil some water, and then pour the boiled water over there, and then you just let the leaves kind of naturally fall, or you can put it into one of those containers. And my grandma used to have one of those old silver deals that you hung on your coffee, and
Hmm.
it's kind of like an old school tea bag, but it's I don't know what it's
Yeah.
called, not a decanter, but it's a
It's like a what do you call it when you soak it? It's I know what
yeah,
you're talking
it
about.
screws together and you put the
Yeah.
tea in there and screw it back and it hangs on your coffee deal. You can use one of those. But it really does have a nice flavor. If you like it has a nice earthy flavor and so
Oh,
yeah, it's really
awesome.
interesting.
All right, we're nearing our time. So, any final questions? Lots of compliments, Chris. I mean,
Yep.
thank you so much. You're doing amazing things. You're the exact example of the kind of presentations we love so that people aren't trying to reinvent the wheel when you've already gone through the blood, sweat, and tears to get where you're at. So, hopefully, if you'd put your contact info in the chat notes get sent out to everyone. And then we always just encourage back to that communication to reach out, if you don't mind on some of your programming that, some of our other locations might be able to utilize.
Yeah. Hey, you guys reach out to me anytime. We're here to help and our success is your success is our success. So however we can help out, let's make some stuff happen. And just like Governor Anatoby said, he's jigsaw, but he always said we can do a lot of things good, but if we do it together, we can do it even better. So I believe in that greatly.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Chris. That was absolutely amazing. And you are doing amazing things. And hopefully, we'll get some conversations going with you. And, you know, Aaron, I know you're one of his biggest cheerleaders, but I also love the fact that NIFA was able to provide a grant for them at the very beginning of this to, get him moving in that direction. So, um, I think we're all out here rooting for NIFA right now and praying that we get through on this. You gave us some really great news. So everyone, I thank you. I know the one thing that I was working on, and when Chris came in so clutch, he's linked me to a Western Oklahoma NRCS agent. So my goal is for May to have them on talking about that soil erosion with fire and wind, especially with the recent events in Western Oklahoma. So I will be working on that for May. And anything else, as always, reach out to me with the email and I will connect you. If you forget Chris's info, shoot me an email and we'll get you guys connected. Chris, thank you so much. Well done. You are
Hey, thank
leading
you.
it.
Yeah, y'all take care.
Okay, thanks, Chris.